Hey friends, wonderful Saturday morning. So I did a small mod yesterday on the KTM 390 Adventure, and let's straight away get into that and talk about it. What was the modification and why was that done, and what is the feedback now? Okay, so now what I've done is, it's a known issue that KTM rear suspension does not provide the adequate damping and rebound both, right? So basically it is slightly too much on the stiffer side. I will not say slightly, but yeah, actually too much stiffer on the higher side. So in turn, what happens is it is way stiff, and hardly your suspension has any travel. That's one. And even if you do this, right? Just watch this out. Even if you do this, this doesn't happen. The rebound doesn't happen. So what have I done, right? So yes, there are it's a known issue, right, experienced by every KTM 390 adventure owner, right, from 2020 to 2023 all the way, right? So known issue where what happens is, you know as you keep riding, right, you don't notice it during the first 100, 200, 300 kilometers, and after 300 kilometers, every pothole you put the bike in, it literally feels that the shock and the jolts from the road is directly transferring to your back and causing you fatigue and back pain. So that is the issue, right? That's a known issue, and people know about it, and I reported to KTM, etc. Everything was done, but I wanted a solution to this problem. So I did my independent research with respect to what are the options in the market, right? There are multiple options in the market, my friend, starting from YSS suspension, which is costing about 35,000. Then there is Zedling. I think they offer at some 14,000 rupees, and then there is Lakshmi Garage. They also offer it at 14,000 rupees. So yeah, so 14,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees for the rear suspension, a simple suspension which only has a preload adjuster, is not something I was convinced for. So what I've done is, I've gone ahead and picked up a XPulse 4V suspension, and before that I did some study and compared that the stock suspension what comes on the bike is apparently made by Endurance themselves, but branded as WP Apex by KTM. So whatever reason they did that, they did it. So typically it is the exact suspension with the exact fittings or the dimensions right on the top and right at the bottom, but the difference is the spacing of these springs, right? Spacing of the springs here is far apart. I'm not sure if the dampener is also different, but it could be different because it is designed by the same company with a slightly different spec. So what happens is, when you have these wider gaps, it has more opportunity to compress, and at the same time it's able to rebound as well. So now, yes, I got this yesterday at Hero showroom. This one is from XPulse 204V. I got it from Hero showroom, and straight away went to KTM, and they were very kind enough to install it on the bike for me and return my stock suspension back. So yes, what was my immediate observation when I did that, right? When I did this, immediate observation for me was, I immediately found the ride became plush. That is one. And another thing what I found is, bike felt a bit taller. So When I say a bit taller, maybe 10 to 20 mm, something like that. The seat felt taller. So yeah, so I think that is something which is part of the bedding in process for any new suspension, right? Any new suspension takes its time to bed in and come to its actual form and size. So yes, if you install a new suspension, definitely ride your bike like as though it is a new bike, because you need to get over the learning curve importantly. That's one. So yes, so I installed it, got it out yesterday evening, and took a ride in the city. And every pothole or every speed breaker I was getting into, I was able to feel the damping and rebound, which wasn't the case with the stock KTM suspension. That is one observation yesterday. So, what setting is this suspension sitting at? It's sitting at 1, 2, 3, 1, 5. It's sitting at 5, and it has about 10 step adjustability. 10 step adjustability. So the stock setting what Hero provided was at 5. So I just let it be at 5 and try it, use it, and then make changes as needed. So today what I have done, today I took the bike out for a long ride, and I went ahead and let's see how many kilometers I rode. Yeah, I went ahead and rode about close to 340 kilometers. I went towards Mysore, then just typical breakfast ride, and took a nice ride on the highway, and tested it out on the highway at highway cruising speeds of 120 to 140, and I was cornering on the highway at 100 to 110. Absolutely no issues in the cornering as well. It was never uncomfortable or never wavery or bouncing around, etc. Nothing of that sort. It was well planted. That's one. And second one is, I did take it on the bad patches. It is soaking any and every undulations on the road, just like how, almost like how an XPulse does it, almost like that. But yes, I'll need to let this bed in, and then it's running at a setting 5 according to this bike, according to the payload what I'm going to load on this bike. I might need to move from the stock setting of 5 to maybe 6, 7, or wherever, right? I might need to figure that out over a period of time. So yes, so it was good on the cruising speed, it was good on the undulations and bumps, and especially when I was riding, doing a light off-road, riding on jelly, concrete jelly, and all those rural patches. Bike was surprisingly giving me a better handling feel. Not sure why, right? Not sure why it was giving a better handling feel. Probably because the suspension is working now versus earlier, and it is soaking up the undulations and giving me a better control on the bike. So probably that's the case. But overall, I think super happy with this modification so far. And what else? Yeah, I also took one of my friend as pillion today on this bike, and yes, I went through bad roads. I went through huge speed breakers as well. At no point did this suspension bottom out at all, right? So it didn't bottom out, so that's an indication to me that it's doing the job correctly. It's able to handle the required payload of say 100, 150, 160 kilos. So ideally it is able to do that. Yeah, but if I load it up with luggage, and probably if I have a heavier pillion, I might need to go a notch or two higher, and I think that is going to suffice. That's one. And yes, we spoke about different suspension options in the market, right? Like YSS, then your Z-Link and your Lakshmi Garage and all those things, right? So all those are pretty expensive options, my friend. So please do your independent research and go for something which will really work for you. So this suspension you can get it from Hero showroom. It costs 6,300 rupees, the new MRP. I got it for 6,300 itself, and got it installed, and really I felt that this was one problem on the bike which I experienced, and which was sort of an irritant. I feel that I've nailed it, and resolved this problem to my satisfaction. So yeah, so far very happy, very satisfied with this particular change what I've introduced on the bike. And yes, coming to the part where I felt that bike got a bit taller, right? So when I had the pillion sit on the bike, the compression of the springs was to a larger extent than solo ride, of course, right? So at that point I was almost able to flat foot on the bike, right? So that indicates that it is able to really compress, take the load, and even while running it is able to compress and give you the required damping effect, rebound effect, everything, right? So perfect solution. Highly recommended if you are a KTM 390 owner and facing similar problems. Yes, if you ride the bike as everybody's been riding 300, 200, 300 kilometers at a stretch, you will find the difference. At this point, I no more dread or fear taking the bike onto a patchy road at a speed of 30, 40 or 50 kmph at a stretch, right? Because my suspension is now working, and it is able to absorb the undulations and not transfer the jolts and the shocks to my back. So yeah, so that's my take on this one, my verdict on this one. So definitely, if you are looking for something like this, definitely consider this as a not only as a cost effective option but also a real solution which will work 100%. So yeah, so that's pretty much I had at this point in time. And do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, very happy to interact and answer any specific questions you might have. All right, my friends, so thank you so much for staying tuned, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.